Shalom, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, the honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to Akim, teach all truths and sincerity. Um, this is a um, a lesson that's going to be titled "Esau is the end of the world." It's going to be titled "Esau is the end of the world." Esau is a so-called white man. Um, he's he's the end of the world. I'm gonna read Second Ezra 6, and I'm gonna start at verse 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times, and or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, when Abraham, um, he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. Because Esau and Jacob basically were twins in the womb, and when Rebecca was pregnant with Esau and Jacob, they were fighting in the womb, and she was told, or she inquired of the Lord, and it said, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and one nation shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger. So basically, Esau is the elder, and Jacob and Esau were fighting in the womb. And Esau came out first, and Jacob held the heel of Esau's, um, held his foot when he was coming out. Like Esau was coming out, and Jacob had his hand on his heel, right behind him, you know. Um, and it says in 9:2 and 6, Second Ezra 6 and 9, it says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. Jacob is who are so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. We're the beginning, which that follow it, which is the kingdom of heaven. We're you know the ones in the kingdom of heaven that be full ruling, aside Yahweh shot, you know, and that's gonna be the beginning of which of it that follow it. But Esau is the end of this world, which is you know, this place, it's this world, because this is Esau's, kingdom, his world, his place. So anyway, but it's the of this seriousness of this scripture, and Second Ezra 6:7 through 9, it tells that Esau is the end of this place, end of wickedness, and Jacob is the beginning of righteousness on the earth, because this place is a wicked society, it's a wicked world. And when you know when Jacob is in rulership, it's gonna be a righteous and peaceful, world. It's gonna be a righteous uh uh place, a righteous society, because the law, statute, commandments are gonna be enforced, and everything is gonna be in its rightful order, But that also goes in that scripture. It also goes into two scriptures. One, um, Job 9:24, when he talks about I'm gonna go to that scripture, and then it also goes into that scripture. Uh, uh, Salaki, let me get to that scripture real quick. This is Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So So the wicked are ruling. So this place, this entire world is wicked because they're ruling, they're in power. Um, which that um Esau is the end of the world is the end of wickedness on the earth. Um, and and it goes into that Proverbs 29 and 2. Um, when it says Proverbs 29 verse 2, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Um, and as I read in Job 9:24, uh, it says, I didn't really forget, but it says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. As the so-called white man who's Esau, he's the wicked, he's ruling. The people are mourning. The earth is mourning. The people are mourning. Everything is not in its rightful balance. When Jacob, who are the righteous, get in authority, the earth is going to rejoice, the people are going to rejoice, and everything's going to be in its rightful balance. And that's going to be the beginning of which that follow it. That's going to be the beginning of righteousness on the earth. So, in righteousness, we will judge, and we'll judge with the law, statute, commandments, uh, which are going to be written in our inward parts, and we written in our inward parts in our bodies. So we're going to judge righteously, and that's going to be how our kingdom, the kingdom of heaven and the kingdom of Israel, is going to be governed by the law, statutes, commandments of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. But I'm gonna go back to Second Esdras. I'm gonna start at verse 11, chapter 11, Slaki, chapter 11, uh, Second Esdras, chapter 11, verse 39, and so it's Second Esdras, chapter 11, verse 39. Art not thou it that remaineth of the four beasts whom I made to reign in my world, that the end of their times might come through them. The fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole the whole compass of the earth, with much wicked oppression, and so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit. For the earth had not judged with truth. For the earth hath thou not judged with truth. For thou hast afflicted the meek, thou hast hurt the peaceful, thou hast loved liars, and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, and have cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm. And it says in Job 9:24, it says uh, the earth have been given to the wicked, um, who covered the face of the judges thereof, um, um, which the so-called white man, he has destroyed, has taken peace from the earth. He's basically that red horse that take peace from the earth, and has done to people that have done him no harm, because the certain things they've done to us in slavery, we didn't do to them. We have never done to them, and they harmed us harshly, getting us harsh captivity and bondage. And I'm gonna read 43, second Esdras 11:43. Therefore is thy wrongful dealings come up unto the highest, and thy pride unto the mighty. The highest also have looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended, and his abominations are fulfilled. Goes in that scripture in Revelations 18 and 5. Uh, Slocky, let me get that right quick. Revelations 18:5. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh have remembered her iniquities. So, um, uh, like the abominations of the so-called white man, who's Esau, have been fulfilled. Those those things that those filthy things that are abominable have reached up to the heavens, and Yahweh have seen all the wickedness of the so-called white man, and he's going to repay him back for all that wickedness, basically. um and there, I'm read 2nd Ezra 11:45. And therefore appeared no more thou eagle, nor thy horrible wings, nor thy wicked feathers, nor thy malicious head, nor thy hurtful claws, nor all thy vain body, that all the earth may be refreshed and may return, being delivered from thy violence, and that she may hope for the judgment and mercy of him that made her. Um, so uh the uh the earth, uh that all the earth may be refreshed and may return, being delivered from thy violence, and that she may hope for the judgment and mercy of him that made her. um that the their horrible Slakia, the the point where I was going with this is uh the time that Esau is basically gradually being taken out of um power, or being taken down now, as because we're already in the time of Yahweh's return, and this devil, his time of his kingdom continuing on is, uh not continuing, is his kingdom continuing on is basically coming out of basically, we're at the end of the so-called white man's kingdom. We're right at the end of the so-called white man's kingdom. Salaki for being so overthinking. Like, basically, we at the end of the so-called white man's kingdom. I got too much scriptures, and this is Revelations 18:23. In the light of a candle, and the light of the can and the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants, now the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. So all the other nations, so-called other nations, all the other nations called this place the Golden City, the place where they can get all their money, because they would import and export out this place, and they would build up their nation, and become rich from the American society, because they bring their merchandise over here and sell it over here, and that would enrich their nation. But now they're basically strategically turning their back on this place, this virgin daughter of Babylon, the whore, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. They're turning their back on this place, and they're going to turn their back and burn this place to a crisp and drop nuclear missiles on here. So my last scripture is Revelations 21 1 through 4. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, come down from Yahweh out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of Yahweh is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and Yahweh himself shall be to them, be their power. And Yahweh shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, no crying, never, and neither shall be there any pain, more pain, for the former things are passed away. Um, so I'm gonna end it off with that. I'm gonna say all praise and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, and double honors to the elder apostle, great millstone, and salutations to Akim, teaching all truth and sincerity. Shalom.